Oh, the buses and the trolleys, that means a lot to me.
How would her life be different if buses and trolleys were not available?
Sometimes I wouldn't be getting out as much. It'd make a major difference.
Jim Bishop uses JTA as one way to reach a destination where he can use his chair to get around.
I could have family or friends take me, I could drive myself, but I depend on a mobility chair to get around.
Coming up next on Making Moves, the JTA chairman checks out a vital construction project near the port.
I'm Terry Casey at the landing. Coming up, for most of us, getting on a trolley or a bus, well, we take it for granted. But for one woman, she has to take it as a mobility lifeline. You'll meet her.
A JTA bus driver is named one of the state's best, and we'll head to the Jacksonville Zoo to celebrate Earth Day. I'm Joyce Morgan Danford. Stay tuned for those stories and much more next on Making Moves. Welcome to JTA Making Moves. I'm Joyce Morgan Danford. Michael Blaylock is here. He'll be joining me in just a moment, but first we're going to check out some JTA headlines. We begin with some news from the governor's office. It took some 3 months of vetting, but Governor Rick Scott has finally named a new transportation secretary. Anath Prasad was selected to head up Florida's Department of Transportation. Prasad is one of 3 finalists for the coveted job. He has 20 years of experience in the transportation industry, including 18 with FDOT. Most recently, Prasad was the agency's Assistant Secretary for Engineering and Operations. Well, let's bring in JTA Executive Director and CEO Michael Blaylock. Now, Michael, anyone who's been watching this show for a while knows that there is a very, very close connection between the Florida Department of Transportation and JTA. You're going to be meeting with Mr. Prasad. What do you want him to know about transportation here in Northeast Florida?
Well, the good news is that I know that the new secretary, and I'm really excited and looking forward to working with him. I think one of the most important things that we're going to share with him is the efforts that are underway with respect to the Regional Transportation Study Commission. And I think having the opportunity to get him up to speed on something that I think is really going to be critical for our area, particularly over the next 50 years, I think it's going to be really exciting. So we're going to try to get him up to speed in terms of what we're trying to do in terms of bringing our entire region together in terms of a focused mobility plan.
And he knows that there's a lot of head.
A lot of that and a lot of money needed for Northeast Florida.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking for it.
All right.
In other news today, gas prices continue to climb both nationwide and right here in Florida. Gas prices jumped more than 11 cents over the past 2 weeks. The average price of a gallon of self-serve gas is $3.82 here in North Florida. That's up some 26 cents from a month ago and nearly $1 higher than this time last year. Now, according to AAA spokeswoman Jessica Brady, oil prices are predicted to fluctuate between $105 and $115 a barrel for the next few weeks as various economic reports on supply and demand are released. A recent Jacksonville Daily Record poll showed that 32% of those who responded would actually consider a change in their mode of transportation if gas prices hit $4.50 a gallon. Well, as we just showed you, gas isn't quite up that high yet, but the higher fuel prices have helped push ridership on JTA up 8% so far this year. Now, it seems that many folks are actually parking their cars and trying public transit as an alternative to the pain at the pump. And while higher ridership is the goal, the timing couldn't be more problematic for transit agencies nationwide who are facing serious budget issues. Transit authorities like JTA have to find ways to meet the higher demand during a time when most agencies have been cutting back on services.
We're having an opportunity that we normally wouldn't have with having choice riders, people who have cars but choose to try transit. So those folks are trying transit at greater numbers, and our job is to keep them riding with us. And how we keep them riding with us is giving reliable, efficient, and courteous service.
And you know what, Michael, it sounds like doing more with less is still one of JTA's mantras, and it's going to be that way for a while.
Yeah, but I think the opportunity that we're seeing more and more motorists parking their cars and taking advantage of the transit system is extraordinary. Joyce, the average motorist could save as much as $9,000 a year if they use public transit more. And I think that our experience is once they experience that first ride, we want to try to make sure they keep coming back.
$9,000, that's an
Annually,
awful lot of money for a year.
And not dealing with road rage and all of the stress of having to drive. So I think that you're going to see more and more people at least opt to at least try the system.
Absolutely. If it seems like you're seeing JTA everywhere you go these days, you're probably right. In the past few weeks, JTA has participated in several prominent public events, including the always exciting opening of the Beaches Parade. The Beaches Trolley took center stage at the parade as thousands lined the streets of Jacksonville Beach to celebrate the traditional opening of the summer beach season. Then JTA teamed up with dozens of local companies and the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens to celebrate Earth Day. Members of the Making Moves news team stopped by to talk with zoo patrons about our show. Correspondent Terry Casey, videographer Eugene Lindsay, and executive producer Bill Milnes also help people sign up to support transit here in Florida. It's all part of the I Am For Transit initiative. The JTA marketing department was also on hand giving out some great gifts to the kids. From the zoo, the next stop for JTA was Art Walk. The monthly downtown event had a distinctive Skyway flavor as JTA filled the Skyway platforms with artwork and live music created by area youth. Here's a sample.
Got a lot on my mind. Things such as global warming.
Just $30 a month. The summer youth passes are still.
With my summer youth pass, I see the suns for free. Every Wednesday and Sunday, we're making history.
So Michael, it was certainly a lot going on, and JT is out there and being very visible up front.
And Joyce, it is so important to get as much face time with our customers. So it's not just our bus operators and our supervisors and our field personnel, but our management personnel, including myself. Mm-hmm. It's just huge. It's huge when customers can have an opportunity to talk to you directly about what their concerns are or what kind of improvements they want to see. So actually, it was a lot of fun.
And still to come today on Making Moves.
I'm Terry Casey at the landing. Coming up, for most of us, getting on a trolley or a bus, well, we take it for granted. But for one woman, she has to take it as a mobility lifeline. You'll meet her.
And we'll head to the construction zone with the JTA chairman as he checks out an important project near the port. All that when we come back.
This is the fourth month in a row our sales have been flat. We've got to find a way to reach some new customers.
Hey, I have an idea.
We've tried everything. Newspaper ads, flyers, radio. Nothing seems to be working. I just don't know what we're going to do.
Hey, wait, I have an idea.
We have a great business. There's just got to be a way to reach more customers.
Listen, I have an idea. What about JTA?
The bus people? How can they help us reach more customers?
Think about it. Our ads on the side of buses driving all over the city. Or maybe one of their new fancy bus shelters. They even have their own television show called Making Moves. We could run ads on the show. We would reach thousands of people.
Now that's a great idea.
Let JTA help you connect with your customers. We have transit advertising options for nearly every budget. Call our corporate sales office at 630-3109 and let us put together a great package for you. Get creative. Advertise the JTA way.
in a global community where information can be delivered instantly. But having access to information and getting accurate information don't necessarily go hand in hand. That's where we come in. We are Making Moves, the First Coast's premier source for transportation news. At Making Moves, we strive to deliver timely, reliable, and pertinent information about the transportation stories that affect our community. From transit to roads, we've got it covered. Making Moves, now on Facebook.
I was looking to jumpstart my career, and Florida Coast Career Tech has the reputation of being the best.
If a student comes to Florida Coast Career Tech, they will end up with a career they love.
I've learned more about HVAC in 3 weeks than I have in my entire construction career.
I'm learning a lot here because the instructors are great.
Florida Coast Career Tech students are trained so well, they can hit the ground running.
Florida Coast Career Tech helped me do this.
There are many ways you can get from point A to point B. We'd like you to consider ours.
Welcome back to Making Moves. JTA's board chairman gets a personal tour of a major road project on Heckscher Drive. Michael Cavendish and JTA Executive Director Michael Blaylock were recently on hand as workers poured cement for one of the new spans of the Dunn Creek Bridge. It's part of a bigger project that Cavendish says will increase mobility in that area while improving the quality of life throughout Northeast Florida. If you've traveled Heckscher Drive lately in the area near the cruise ship terminal, you've noticed lots of orange cones. They are a sign of progress to many people who frequently use this road.
I've been working out in this area now about 27 years, and I can remember when it was just a 2-lane highway and how difficult it was when we was coming to work. So to see them widening the Heckscher Drive and with the expansion of the bridge and all, it definitely has made a difference in my commute.
JTA's board chairman Michael Cavendish got a first-hand look at the impressive $61.3 million project that will change the face of Heckscher Drive. It includes widening the road between August Drive and Drummond Point from 2 lanes to 4 and replacing the bridges over the Broward River and Dunn Creek.
Well, we wanted to take a customer-level view of everything we do here in 2011. 2011 is a time of limited resources. We have to be very careful stewards of the taxpayers' dollars.
JTA's work and influence can be seen all around this Heckscher Drive area. It includes everything from the Alta Drive project to the Dames Point Bridge, which is right behind me, and then to this brand new roadway and bridge that JTA is currently building, and it's all part of the new port expansion.
We're making sure that this area, which you can call Heckscher Drive for short, is going to continue to be a microcosm of what makes Jacksonville work. It's residential, it's incredible, beautiful nature, but it's also heavy industry and big economic stimulus impacts that drive our economy.
To travel from the 9A all the way to 95, just 2 lanes, one way each way, you get behind slow traffic and it takes forever, and there's no passing zones, and it's just a backup. But now with 2 lanes each way, it's going to just be a breeze shooting right through.
Of course, there will also be new curbs, gutters, and sidewalks. Now, this project is expected to be completed by September. But Michael, what viewers may not know is that with all of this work going on at the port, there's still much more to come in the future.
Joyce, that is a huge effort. And, the good news is that the Florida Department of Transportation, City of Jacksonville, the Transportation Planning Organization, and the JTA, we're all working in unison to prepare what we believe it needs to get done in terms of a comprehensive mobility plan to support the port. So, our belief is that if we're going to compete internationally for that business, then we have to have a comprehensive transportation plan on that. So there's a lot of things in the works, there are a lot of discussions going on inside the port as well as outside the port in terms of the infrastructure support. So you're going to hear a lot more going on about the port.
And it's so funny, but one of the things I love about that area is seeing the cruise ships come and go.
Yeah, and then just really trying to maintain the character, of the area because of the influx of those trucks and the activity there. And then, of course, you have some residents that live there. And then, of course, the boating and the recreational activities that occurs out in that area. So we're trying to create a balance effect where everybody can enjoy, have a sense of quality of life, while at the same time supporting those big jobs that we're looking to bring to Jacksonville.
Absolutely. Well, JTA is joining with transit agencies across the nation for National Dump the Pump Day on June 16th. Now it's in its 6th year. National Dump the Pump Day is a day that urges people to park their rides and try public transportation. You can join the movement by making your pledge to dump the pump. Just log on to the JTA website and click on the Dump the Pump icon. And of course, people don't have to wait until June 16th to dump the pump. I'm sure you're going to encourage them to, try. Just try it. That's all you're saying.
Try it. That's part of that $9,000 annual savings.
Yes, it is.
I mean, how much did it cost you to fill your car up this past week?
Oh my goodness, at least $54.
About $50.
Yeah.
That's $50. So we can save you $50 a week. So dump the pump, okay?
So make it happen. Well, the list of reasons that people use JTA's buses and trolleys is a very long one. Work, school, shopping, you name it. The list is probably as long as the number of riders. But for Darlene Benson and many just like her, having access to transportation is life-altering. As our Terry Casey shows us, for them, JTA restores a sense of independence that comes with something most of us consider very basic: mobility.
Darlene Benson lives in Riverside. You wouldn't know it, but she's fairly new to the wheelchair.
I fought going into the chair because I didn't want to be disabled, but I couldn't walk 2 blocks without being in great pain. My world was becoming smaller and smaller.
She wouldn't allow that to happen, so she got the chair, and she was on her way.
There's one bus stop that's about 1.5 blocks away. The trolley stop's about 2 blocks.
She depends on the transit system to get her where she needs to go and to be wheelchair accessible. They do, and they are.
Front seats are reserved for the elderly and physically disabled. Thank you for your cooperation.
And she says her world is bigger now.
Well, I use it for everything from my doctor's appointments. I volunteer at St. Vincent's Hospital and the Cancer Society. I use it to do my shopping. I use it to go downtown to the library and to my bank and to do I use it for everything.
Today, the trolley takes her on an errand to the post office at the Landing.
I have to go downstairs and mail a package to my cousin.
Darlene is one of many people on the First Coast who, for whatever reason, don't drive any longer. So for them, JTA is their main source of transportation. And for many of them, it's a mobility lifeline. Patsy Glover is a friend of Darlene's and lives at the same Riverside apartment complex. Patsy uses a walker and, like Darlene, depends on the transit system.